Okay, guys, we're gonna look at question 8. Question 8, did I finish this? Let me just double check. Okay, we're gonna look at question 8. Question 8 is quite simple. There's 12 questions, so we are almost there. Let's start with uh, this person inherits. Okay, cool. So this person inherits 130,000 from his grandmother. He decides to invest the money in a savings account for 10 years while he is studying. For the first 3 years, just by looking at this, I know it's a timeline because they said for the first 3 years. So this is basically a timeline, but okay. For the first 3 years, the money earns 8.6% per annum interest, okay, compounded quarterly. He then takes out 20,000 to pay a deposit on a car before he changes to another bank. He earns that much interest monthly for 4 years. Okay. How much does he have at the end of 10 years? Okay. So I think realistically, this is not too bad. It does take a bit of effort when it comes to timelines. I think you guys struggled with timelines, but let's go. This entire timeline is 10 years, right? This guy, his grandmom or grandfather gave him 130,000, right? He decided to put this money away for 3 years. So let's put this as 3 years. And this money earned 8.6% compounded quarterly. Okay. Now, after 3 years, he decides, hey, I'm taking out 20,000 because I need to buy a car. So after he takes out 20,000, he changes the bank and he banks for another 4 years. Okay. So he banks for another 4 years, but he now earns 12.8% compounded monthly, right? And finally, he moves to the third bank where he earns 11.5% compounded daily. That's very unrealistic, but for the remainder of the investment. Now, the total investment was 10 years. So most likely, the last part will be 3 years. We can double check it because 3, 4, and 3 is 10 years. And now it's just three separate calculations, level 1 calculations. Let's start with question 1. If I look at this, honestly, none of it needs present value or future value because it's not talking about monthly installments. It's not talking about deposits or retirement annuities. It's just straightforward compound interest. So if we start with the first calculation, P, I, N, and A. P would be 130,000. That's the principal amount. I would be, let's sort this out, 8.6% divided by 4. And that should be 0.0215. Basically, I just did this and I got 0.0215. N would be 3 years. Do not forget that it's compounded quarterly. So that's 12. I think, guys, let me put the 0.0215 here just for learning purposes. And A is unknown. Okay. Now, if I deal with this, this is A equals to P, 1 plus I to the power of N. This is quite simple because this would be 130,000. And this would be 1 plus 0.0215 to the power of 12. And this answer should equal to 167,804.58. Okay. Now, guys, this is the money he had here at the end of 3 years. Now, before he moved to another bank, we should know that he withdrew 20,000 from this money. So even when we start the second calculation, that's A, That's P, that's I, and that's N. What we need to understand is that P is 167,804.58 minus 20,000 because he used this money for his car. And I'll write it at the bottom because I don't want to waste too much of space, but this is 147, 804.58. Quite simple. You just minus 20,000. That's gone there. And now 12.8% divided by 4. I think it's more realistic to put it as 4 over 375. And don't forget this is times 12. So this is 4 years times 12, and this is 4 over 375. Okay, I do apologize. I think all my work is squashed up, but yeah, that's A equals to P, 1 plus I to the power of N. P is 147,804.58, and that goes to 1 plus 4 over 375 to the power of 12. And this should equal to, yeah, that's a lot of, no, this is not 12. This is 48. Okay, this was 48. And this is a lot of money actually. 174,804.58. Open bracket 1 plus 4 over 375 to the power of 48. That's a lot of money. 245, 962.62. And that's how much money this guy had at this point here. 245, 962.62. Now, as for the last calculation, it's also quite simple. If we go with question 3, that's A, that's P, that's I, that's N, and P would be 245, 962.60. A is unknown. The N I know is 3 years. I just can't remember. Realistically, I can't remember. I think it was daily, if I'm not mistaken. It was daily. I said it was unrealistic, but N was 3 times 365, which is 1095. And then I would be, let me double check this one. This is 11.5% divided by 365. Okay, and if I simplify it, I get 23 over 73,000. Okay, I know I told you guys to use decimals, but sometimes it's unrealistic. If you can't use it and you're getting stuff in scientific notation, just leave it as is, but simplify as far as you can go. 1 plus I to the power of N. And this was 245,962.62. And that's 1 plus I, which is 23 over 73,000. And that's 1095. And this answer should be, this guy made about 300 some change. 347, 277.87. And that's all there is to this timeline question. Okay, the next question is question 9. Question 9 is generally easy as well. This person would like to put 200 Rand every month into a savings account for 2 years. The bank gives this person 2 options: an interest rate of 12% compounded monthly and an interest rate of 12.5% compounded quarterly. Assume this person saves 200 Rand per month. so that her quarterly installments would be 200 times 3. So basically 600 Rand per month. Okay, determine the effective interest of option A and option B. Okay, this is question 9 and this is A. Let's deal with effective interest. So effective interest should be equal to 1 plus I nominal over m to the power of m minus 1. Now guys, this m and this m, please understand that this is just the compounded monthly. So that's 12. If it was compounded quarterly, it would be 4. So for this question, we should have 1 plus, the interest is 0.12 over 12 to the power of 12 minus 1. And the effective interest should be 12.68%. You guys can sort that out. If you don't want to use that and you want to use decimal, 0.1268. Okay. This one should be quite simple. For part B, if we go with part B, the effective interest, I see a lot of you having problems with effective interest. So yeah, let's sort that out. Okay. For part B, it's the same thing. I effective is equal to 1 plus I nominal over m minus 1 to the power of m. Here would be 1 plus, and this is 0,125 over 4, and this is all to the power of 4 minus 1, and this ends up as 0,13098. Okay, so that's all there is to the first question. The second question is determine how much money she will have saved after 2 years for each option. Guys, again, for option A, it's quite simple to deal with. All we have to do is understand she's putting money away every month, so we have to use future value. It's not a one-time lump sum payment. So N is going to be 2 years times 12. I is going to be 12% divided by 12, which equals to 0.01. X is 200, of course, and the future value is I don't know. So F equals to X into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1 all over I. If we deal with this, this is 200 into 1 plus 0.01. The power of 24 minus 1 all over 0.01. Guys, remember this was 24. Please don't get confused there. And this would be 5 grand, 5,394.69. That's all there is to this question. Let's go with option B. Option B is the exact same thing, guys. When it comes to option B, it's very, very simple to deal with. Okay. So for option B, we got future value. We got X. We got I. And we got N. So N is 2 times 4, which is 8. I is 12.5%. Ooh, 12.5%. Divided by 4. And that equals to 0,03125. And X. Now, guys, she is putting away in a quarterly payment. So we need to know that 12 divided by 4 equals to 3 months. Therefore, 200 times 3, and the X value is 600. And if we deal with the F, that equals to X into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1 all over I. And again, I think after understanding the question, this just literally becomes a level one question. It shouldn't be a problem. That's there. That's 1 plus 0.03125 to the power of 8 minus 1, and that's all over 0.03125. And this final value should be 5,359.13. That's all there is to this question. I don't think it was too difficult. Based on the questions, A and B, which option should this person pick? Um, so guys, realistically, I mean, it's like $50, but it doesn't matter. Money is money. Which option should they pick? They should pick option A because option A makes more money. Even though option B has a higher effective interest, it pays out less. So she should pick option A because it's compounded more than option B. Recording. Guys, this person decides to purchase a new car. His current car is worth 40,000 Rand. The new car she buys costs 180,000 Rand. And she trades her current car in for the new car and takes a bank loan for the rest of the amount. The bank gives her an interest of 10.8% compounded monthly over 5 years. Okay, cool. Now, what's going to happen is quite simply, this is an ugly color. Quite simply, what is Carl's monthly car repayment? Okay, the fact that it's a loan, the fact that she's paying monthly is definitely present value. Okay, so we're going to start off with P. We're going to go with I, X, and N. But the P value is tricky because now she wants a 180,000 Rand car, but she sells her car for 40,000. So the P value is 140,000 Rand. That's what she's borrowing. The X value is unknown. The I value is 10.8% divided by 12, which is 0.009. And then N is 5 times 12, which is 60. Okay. Now, what's going to happen is we're just going to do present value. Quite simply, P is equal to X into 1 minus 1 plus I to the power of negative N all over I. And we're going to end up solving for X. Now, the algebra wise, you guys need to remember how to solve because it's really important. Algebra is going to really carry you guys in math. So this is 140 000 equals to X into 1 minus 1 plus 0.09 to the power of negative 60. And this is all over 0.09. I guess the way I would deal with this is quite simply. This is double 09. The way I would deal with this is quite simple. I would take this over as multiplication first, and then I would simplify this and take it over as division. It's up to you guys. You all can simplify actually in one step. That's fine as well. Let's go over, take it over as multiplication. And 140 times 0.009. And that's 1,260 Rand. And that equals to X into. Now this bracket as well, I would simplify And that's 1 minus into 1 plus 0.09, double 0.9, guys, to the minus 60. And here I get 0.41. 5842, some change. I'm keeping this in my calculator. I'm taking this over as division, and x is equal to 1260 divided by that answer, and we get 3,029 rand and I guess 99 cents. And that's the answer. Done. Now this was quite simple. Again, if you didn't know which formulas to use, then yeah, we're in trouble. But if you understood the formula, then we're good. Right, now the next question is B. So B says, what will her monthly car repayments be if she decides to pay back the loan over 6 years instead of 5 years? Now it's the exact same thing, guys. We will go with P is 140,000. We will go with X equals to unknown. We will go with I equals to 0.009. Nothing changed. That's why I'm still using the same interest. And N now equals to 6 times 12, which should be 72. All right, the exact same question. It's P equals to X into 1 minus 1 plus I to power of minus N all over I. I'm going to substitute and then I'm going to give you the answer and leave it as is because it's done in the exact same way that the other question was. 1 plus, 1 minus 1 plus 0.009 to the minus 72. And this is all over 0.009. Okay. Now x is equal to, after solving this, 2,650 rand and 45. So this is what she'll be paying if she takes it over 6 years. Quite reasonable. I did skip the algebra because question A and question B is exactly the same. Let's put that down here, and that should be done. Let's go with C. I don't know what C wants, but we can pick. C says, how much more in interest will she pay if she takes the loan over 6 years? Okay, this is a very simple question, guys. You're going to see this multiple times. Let's do the 5 years. So if we do the 5 years, it's quite simple. All I need to know is that this lady is going to say, okay, 5 years is 60 times, because 5 years is 60 months, guys, times 3,029 rand and 99 cents. And this answer is going to give me 181,799.40. The 6-year loan, 6 years is technically 72 months times, and her amount is 2,650 rand, 0.44 cents. And that equals to 190,832.40. Now we got the 6 years, we got the 5 years, or why not minus the 2? So let's go with 190,000 some change minus 181,799.40, and she only pays about 9,000 rand extra in interest. I mean, that's not too bad, to be honest, but this is extra interest. Now, why did I do this, guys? It's because I had the two payments, and I know if I minus both of them, I would get the interest. But if you didn't want to do that, you could have taken this value, this 181, and you could have minus the cash price of 140,000. Then you could have taken this and minus the 140,000, and you could have minus those two answers, but I don't think you guys need to do that. It is quite simple, to be honest. We're going to go with question D. Question D says if okay, if this lady decides to pay an extra 500 per month on a monthly installments for the 5-year loan, how long would it take her to pay off a car? Okay, this is also quite simple after we understand it. Question D. Question D is the exact same thing. So we're going to go with P equals to 140,000, of course, because we have to minus it out. I does not change, 0,009. X does change. Now, X was 3029.99. We're going to have to add 500 to this, right? Because she wants to add an extra 500. And then N is unknown. But guys, do not forget that N was monthly. So it's N times 12. If we work with this, we did multiple questions where we tried to solve for N. And that's the value there. Okay. Now, this value is quite simple. This is, this one is 35, guys. See, if we added 500, it was supposed to be 35. 35, 29.99. And that's 1 minus 1 plus 0,009 to the minus 12n all over 0.009. And that's 140,000. Let's try and do this question. Let's go to a place where there's more, where we have more space. Okay, so if I take this over, this is multiplication. I'm trying to do algebra step by step for you guys just to help you out, but generally we shouldn't have a problem. If you guys have the silver calculator, most likely you can use shift solve, but I don't recommend it. It takes a while. It's very easy to make a mistake. And you're also not able to notice your own mistakes, like what happens when I check my mistakes. So let's just calculate the old-fashioned way. It just works. A year. We're going to take this over as division. 3529 point there. 3529 point there. And divided by 3529.99. Okay. For this part, I ended up with 0,35. 35, I got 69415211. And that equals to 1 minus this nonsense here. And we can deal with this quite simply, right? I'm going to take the plus 1 over as negative 1. I'm going to end up definitely with negative 6, 0,643058 some change. Right? I'm keeping everything in my calculator, guys. I'm going to cancel out the negatives. Right? You could just times by negative 1 to do that. And thereafter, I'm going to say log base answer equals to power. So log base is 1.009. Answer is 0,643058. And that equals to minus 12n. Most likely, this answer would be negative as well. Make sure to use the right log. The log is directly underneath the on button. Okay, and then I end up with like minus 49 point some change. I'm leaving everything in the calculator. Divide by minus 12, divide by minus 12, and divide by minus 12, and I end up with 4.1065 years. Now, guys, use two decimal places, but also if you wanted to change this into months, you would take this as 4 years, take the decimal out, and times it by 12. So I like to round up, but basically this would be 1 month. Right? Excuse me. Yeah, that would be question D. I don't think the algebra was too difficult, but the next question. Okay, guys, the next question is straightforward. It's generally level one. If this person's new car depreciates at a rate of that amount, how much will the car be worth in 3 years' time? So that's P, that's I, that's N, that's A. Guys, remember the car was 180,000. The interest is it depreciates at 7.8%. I like this as 0.078, but 3 years and A is unknown. Remember, depreciation should be compound interest, and this would be 180,000 into 1 plus I, 0.078. So the power of n, which is 3. Oh, this is not plus, this is depreciation, guys. So this is minus. Remember, depreciation is a decrease in value, so always double check. And her car is now worth 141K. So, I mean, not too bad, but yeah. Okay. How much will this lady still owe on the car after 3 years? If you use the values found in question B. Question D. Will her car be worth more or less than she owes on it? Okay. One of my students asked me for a question like this, so yeah, just give me a moment. Let's put that away. Okay, let's start. Guys, they want us to use question D. If I'm not mistaken, question D was where she added 500 and then the monthly, this thing came down to 4 years and 1 month. Okay. Let's start with P. We know this is present value. I don't know what the car's worth. We go with I. In terms of I, nothing changed, 0.09, 0.009. In terms of X, we know this is 3529.99. In terms of N, now N is a bit iffy because it said, okay, how much would she owe in the car after 3 years? So we're only worried about the 3 years. 3 times 12 equals to 36. Okay, we're going to start off with present value. That's x into 1 minus 1 plus I to the power of minus n all over I. We're going to go with 3529.99, and that's 1 minus, and that's 1 plus 0.09 to the power of minus n all over 0.09. This is double zero, guys. I keep forgetting the second zero. Now, this I would say is quite simple. the minus n would be minus 36, of course. I did leave out some space, but this should be an okay question. Minus 36. And this value, let's check how much she paid for 3 years. So this was 3529.99, open bracket 1 minus open bracket 1.009. So the minus 36 divided by 0.009. I don't know why I keep forgetting the zeros, but this is 108,000. 135.67. Now, guys, this is what she paid back after 3 years, okay? Because she decided to pay back 3529.99 for 3 years. Everything stayed the same. So this is what she paid back. Now, this part is fine. That part's not a problem. What we need to understand is how many payments did she need to pay back completely? So we need to double check something quickly. Because if I'm not mistaken, in question, I don't know where it is, or it's here. In question D, our final answer was 4 years and 1 month. So let's deal with that, right? So guys, this part might be confusing. We're going to change the color and we're going to talk about the normal thing. So what was supposed to happen was she was supposed to pay this back in 4 years and 1 month. So 4 times 12 is equal to 48. Plus the 1 month. Do not forget that our answer was 1 month. 4 years and 1 month, so that's 49 months. Now that we know she was supposed to pay this back in 49 months, we can say 49 months multiplied by her monthly payment of this value, 49 times 3529.22, 0.99. Okay, and altogether she was going to pay 172,969.51. Okay, so that's what she was going to pay. Well, that's what she's supposed to pay. So let's go and take out, right? She 172,969.51 minus what she already paid for the 3 years. And what happens is we have 64,833.64. Now this question seemed like it was difficult, but they wanted to know, is the car worth more than what she owes? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. The car is worth more. Why is it worth more? It's because, guys, what she owes on the car is 64,000. But the car is worth, where is the last question that we just did? The car should be worth 141,079 rand. And that's all there is to this question. Okay, guys. So again, we're going to make up our own question just to explain that simple part. So this lady got a car. And right now, this car is worth 100,000. Yeah. Now, after a few years, this car depreciates. And now it's worth 60,000. Okay. And this is what the car's worth after 3 years. So you and I are still paying for the car. So what's going to happen is, let's say this takes 3 years and this was just depreciation. So it's fine. That's one calculation. We found out how much it's worth after 3 years. Now the second part is to find out, hey, I know this car cost 100,000, but also I'm paying a loan for 3 years. So when I pay this loan for 3 years, maybe, I'm just giving an example, guys. I can redo this question. Maybe I paid 40,000. Okay. Now that I paid 40,000, I can say, okay, the total loan I was supposed to pay was 120,000. So 120,000 minus the 40,000 that I already paid, and that equals to 80,000. So what I did was I compared that the car is not worth as much as I owe for the loan. But for those of you that didn't understand this silly part, let's go and redo this question. Let's do this question, right? So all of us, we can agree that this car is worth 141,000. This car is worth 141,000 after 3 years. Okay, so again, there's this car, and there's this car, and it's worth 141,000 after 3 years. Okay, this is the worth. Now we're going to calculate how much I owe on this car. Okay, so we're going to go back and we're going to recalculate. I'm going to skip the calculation part, the algebra, because I did it already. So all we're going to do is, firstly, we're going to find out how many years did I pay for this car. So the depreciation of this car happened in 3 years. Okay, so in 3 years, it starts off as 180,000. Now it's worth that. Okay, so that was part one. Find out what the car is worth. Now, the second part is what's going to happen now. Is that I'm going to find out how much did I pay in 3 years? Yeah, pay in 3 years. And when I do that calculation, I get P, I get I get X, and I get N. This question wanted me to use 3529.99, and we know it's 3 years. So after I do this calculation, I find out that after 3 years, I paid back 108,135.67, right? Because my interest rate was 0.009. And after 3 years of paying, this is what I paid back. Okay, so this is only 3 years of paying, and that's what I paid back. So that's part two of the calculation. Now, part three is the fact that I only paid for 3 years. I need to understand that my loan was technically 4 years and 1 month when I calculated it with the 3,529 rand. Now, guys, 4 years and 1 month should equal to 48 plus 1, which is 49 months, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to calculate total of loan. I'm going to calculate the total loan. So the way I calculate the total loan is I take the 49 months and I multiply it by the monthly installment, which is 3,529 rand and 99 there. And I find out that my total loan, every single thing that I have to pay on this loan, is 172,969.51. Now this is for those of you who don't know, this is the total loan. That's what I'm paying after 4 years. That was part three. We're breaking up into different parts. Part four is for us to find out how much do I have to pay, how much of the loan is left for me to pay. So if the total loan is 172,000 some change, and I finish pay 108,135.67, the total part of the loan that's left is only 64,833.84. And the last part would be to compare these two together. And I can say, listen, I know my car is worth 141,000, but my loan that I have left to pay is 64,000. So my car is worth more than the loan.